The Israeli ambassador to the UN, Danny Danon, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Sharon.
Last week, you've asked for an urgent session of the UN Security Council to address the Houthi attacks against Israel. Any decisions or measures were taken in the Council regarding this hostility?
Well, first, I would like to thank the United States for calling for this session in the Security Council. In the debate, I told my colleagues there is no reason for the attacks from Yemen against Israel. We have no border with Yemen. We have no disputes with Yemen, and still they are sending ballistic missiles. Even my own school, in my own hometown, was destroyed completely from a ballistic missile coming from Yemen. I was very happy to hear the words of the US ambassador and the UK ambassador. It's not only our responsibility to fight this radical organization, we expect other countries to take part in this fight.
Iran had actually denied any relations to the Houthis. Did Israel submit any documents, evidence that will expose this linkage?
Absolutely. You know, they can deny it day and night, but when you look at the missiles, the UAVs, the technology, you understand it's all made in Iran, it's all funded by Iran. They cannot lie to the world. Everybody knows that Iran is behind the Houthis, and I think we should demand that Iran will stop funding this organization.
Let's talk about the hostage deal. Are we close to bringing our 100 hostages home?
We definitely hope so. I can tell you that both President Biden and President Trump are eager to see some development before January 20th, before the inauguration of the new president. It's 2 weeks ahead. There's a lot of negotiations, and I hope we will hear good news. You know, we are praying for that.
Yes. Could you tell us about the special report document you have issued gathering the testimonies of the hostages that returned from Gaza?
Well, when you read this report and you understand what's happening in Gaza, the atrocity, you know, the tortures, the sexual abuse, starvation, you know, one cannot understand how the hostages are staying alive over there. We are praying for them, but we demand from the world not to be quiet. You know, at the UN, they always speak with me about the humanitarian aspect of the Palestinians in Gaza. What about our humanitarian rights? What about the hostages? I think it's a very important report, and we will distribute it to everywhere in the UN.
Do you feel the impact? I mean, did anyone that was exposed to the atrocities there was moved or change his view?
Absolutely. And we also bring a lot of families of hostages to the Security Council, to the General Assembly. You know, once they come and they interact with the ambassadors, you cannot sit idly by when you hear what they are going through. So we will continue to speak up, and we will remind the world that we are in Gaza not because we want to be there. We are in Gaza because we have no choice. We will do whatever we have to do to bring all of the hostages back to Israel.
Yes, the Security Council also heard Michael Levy, the brother of Or Levy, who's still in captivity. Did it generate any reaction?
Yes, you know, for the first time we were able to bring a family member to speak in the Security Council. You know, I think everybody were moved from his words, and no one can sit quietly when he sees a family member calling for the Security Council to take action and to bring his family member back home.
Where are we standing in the fight against UNRWA and the efforts to close their activity in Gaza?
So the law that passed in the Knesset will be effective by the end of January, and we tell our colleagues at the UN, we are willing to work with other UN organs, and not with UNRWA. It's about time to speak about that and to think about alternatives for UNRWA.
Last but not least, almost 2 weeks to the inauguration of President-elect Donald Trump. Big hopes?
Definitely. When we see the people he nominated for different positions, Sharon, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Ambassador Elie Stefanik to the UN, and here in Israel, Ambassador Mike Huckabee, they are all good friends of Israel, very knowledgeable, and we are looking forward to work with all of them.
Thank you, Ambassador Danny Danon, for this talk.
Thank you very much.